I never thought I'd be the kind of man telling a story like this, but life has a strange way of showing you just how wrong you can be. My wife, Samantha, and I were married for 7 years. We had our ups and downs, like any couple, but I thought we were solid. I trusted her completely. Maybe that was my first mistake. Over time, I noticed little things. She started staying late at work more often. Her phone was always face down. She became distant, distracted, like she was physically present but mentally somewhere else. I brushed it off. I thought maybe it was stress or burnout. Then came the night everything changed. She left her phone on the kitchen counter, unlocked. I wasn't trying to snoop, but a notification popped up from a name I didn't recognize. It wasn't just the message, it was the tone. The flirtation. The intimacy. My heart dropped. I scrolled. What I found shattered me. She had been seeing someone else, a coworker, someone she once told me was just a friend. They'd been together for months. Weekend getaways. Hotel rooms. Even messages about me, mocking me, calling me clueless. I confronted her that night. She didn't deny it. She said she was confused, that things just happened. And then, the kicker, she said she thought this new guy, Daniel, was her real chance at happiness. She left that week. At first, I was broken. Angry. Humiliated. I spiraled for a while, but then something changed. I started to heal. I found myself again. I went to the gym, reconnected with old friends, even started therapy. Slowly, I built my life back. Months passed. Then, out of nowhere, she called. She was crying. Rambling. Saying she made a huge mistake. Daniel, the man she left me for, refused to commit. Said he never saw her as long-term material. After using her, he moved on, quickly. She had a breakdown, she told me. Quit her job. Moved back in with her parents. She was ready to come home. But here's the thing, I wasn't. She wanted to come back because the fantasy fell apart. Because her backup plan didn't work. Not because she loved me, not because she regretted what she did, but because she was alone and scared. I told her no. Not out of spite, but because I finally understood my worth. I wasn't her safety net. I wasn't her second option. I had already mourned the death of our marriage and I refused to resurrect something built on lies. She begged. Pleaded. Even tried to guilt-trip me. But I stood my ground. Today, I'm free. And while it still hurts sometimes, I've learned something important. Never let someone who betrayed you decide your value. After I told her no, there was silence. For a moment, I thought that was the end, that she would finally disappear and let me move on. But she didn't. She started showing up everywhere. At my office, at the coffee shop I go to, even outside the gym. She said she just wanted to talk. That she wanted to explain everything. But what was there to explain that she hadn't already shown me in full detail through her actions? One evening, she left a handwritten letter in my mailbox. 10 pages long. In it, she said Daniel had used her for fun, and that once she started talking about a real relationship, he got cold and distant. He told her flat out that he didn't want commitment, that he never did, and she was naive to think otherwise. She went on to say that after everything fell apart, she realized she'd thrown away a man who truly loved her, for someone who saw her as nothing more than a temporary thrill. She said she missed the way I looked at her, the safety of our home, and the way I made her feel like she mattered. But here's what struck me most. I thought I wanted excitement, she wrote. But I didn't understand that real love doesn't always feel like a high. It's quiet. Steady. Safe. And I didn't value that until it was gone. It was the most honest thing she'd said since the affair. And it didn't matter. Because I wasn't the same man anymore. The version of me that would have taken her back, the one who ignored red flags, who accepted less than he deserved, was gone. Replaced by someone who learned the hard way that love without respect is just a trap. I didn't even respond to the letter. A week later, she sent a final message. I understand. I just wish I had realized what I had, before I destroyed it. And with that, she disappeared from my life. Now, here's the truth I want anyone listening to remember. When someone cheats, it's not just about attraction or boredom, it's about choice. They chose to break your trust. They chose to gamble with your heart. And most of the time, they only want you back when the fantasy crashes and reality hits. Don't let yourself become their plan B. If someone walks out on you for someone else, let them walk. Because the person who truly values you, they'll never risk losing you in the first place. Today, I'm dating someone new. Slowly. Cautiously. She knows my story. She respects my scars. And unlike before, I know what red flags to look for. So to my ex-wife, thank you. Thank you for showing me who you really are, so I could finally become who I was meant to be. It's strange how silence can feel louder than screaming. After her last message, the one where she said I just wish I had realized what I had, before I destroyed it, I didn't hear from her again. At first, I kept expecting her to pop back up, to beg, to manipulate, to cry some more. But she didn't. I think that's when it really hit me, she wasn't just gone from my life. I had finally let go. Not just of her, but of the guilt, the confusion, the endless questions about why I wasn't enough. For a while, I had been stuck in that loop, wondering if I had failed as a husband, if I'd been too boring, too predictable, too emotionally unavailable. But the truth is, I wasn't the problem. She was searching for a thrill, something new, something shiny, without realizing that stability and loyalty are far rarer than excitement. And by the time she figured that out, it was too late. I spent years pouring love into someone who couldn't see past her own restlessness. And for what? To be traded in for a fantasy that didn't even last a year. Let me tell you something, it hurts. It hurts to watch someone you gave your soul to treat you like an option. But you know what hurts worse? Staying in that pain. Staying in denial. Trying to fix someone who doesn't even want to be fixed. So I chose peace. Now, my life is quiet. Calm. I wake up without knots in my stomach. I don't check someone's phone when they leave the room. I don't replay old fights in my head, wondering what I should have said. I'm not saying everything is perfect, healing isn't a straight line. Some nights I still feel the sting. Some mornings I remember the good moments and wonder how they led to something so cold. But then I look at where I am now, who I've become, and I realize. Her betrayal was my rebirth. She thought she was moving up in life when she left me. She didn't realize she was setting me free. So to anyone out there dealing with betrayal, hear this. You are not weak for feeling broken. You are not stupid for trusting someone. You are not alone. But you are strong enough to move on. You are worthy of someone who chooses you every single day. Not just when their fantasy fails. Not just when they're lonely. But when you're both standing in reality, messy, raw, and real. And if they walked away from you, let them. Because the real loss was theirs. Months went by. I was finally at peace. One morning, I was having coffee at my favorite cafe, the same place she once surprised me on our anniversary. Except now, I wasn't looking over my shoulder. I wasn't wondering if I'd ever feel whole again. That's when I saw her. Across the street. Alone. No ring. No smile. Just existing. She looked at me. And for a second, maybe two, our eyes locked. There was no drama. No words. Just a quiet moment where she realized something. I didn't hate her. I didn't miss her. I didn't need her. I had outgrown the version of myself that once begged for her love. And in that silence, I saw it in her eyes, the thing she never said out loud. You were the one. But I just nodded, smiled politely, and walked away, not because I was cold, but because I was finally free. Sometimes, the greatest revenge is no revenge at all. Just healing, growing, and letting them watch from a distance. As you live the life they never believed you could.